What up, Pittsburgh Steelers fans? It is your boys, Matty P, Marky D. You didn't miss it, Gene Smith, in the live chat. We're just a little bit late to what we wanted to do. Daredevil was in there first as always. But Marky D, mate, how you going?
Well, I'm pretty well, but yeah, I actually slept in today a little bit. Woke up at 8:30, the time we're meant to go, and I was like, oh boy, I got to get on TV.
You know what? You know what's good about today? Within 1 minute, we've finally got the notification going live. I mean, the last few weeks, the notifications haven't been going properly. So, I'm glad YouTube's got their, you might have slept in, but YouTube's got the shit together.
YouTube is, it's a funny thing. Let's put it that way. It is a funny thing. So if you do check us out and find us, make sure you hit that like and sub and do all those YouTube things. But what I've realized on the platform,
hit that bell icon. You know what I noticed?
Yeah,
it's funny. You and I talk about liking the show and hitting the bell icon. Now, when there's channels that I watch all the time but I'm not subscribed, I'm like trying to put it out there in the universe. So I'm like, I'm going to subscribe to that. I'm going to hit the bell icon.
Yeah. I try and like I sub to a lot of people on the NFL circuit too, right? But there is a lot going on. Like the one, no offense to Motzi out there, but I don't sub to Motzi anymore because Motzi drops about. What?
Gene Smith says, "You all suck, but I love you." Mate, Cody's in the live chat.
Cody,
Shield 91. Hope you're not running, mate. Hope you're chilling out.
He's running. He's pinning his picture. Yeah,
that's kind of like okay. This is going to go way off topic, but it could be something the Steelers look to leverage one day. That's kind of like a bit Inception because like Cody's not running right now, but for all we know, he is running right now. But that's the only image we see. It's like I heard about this thing the other day where they're trying to set it up. I don't think I'm for this, but like they're going to have things by the time you and I sort of, get old age mark where you'll be able to record and set things up in motion where when you die, your family will be able to interact with you in a way that's kind of like real, but not real digitally. Weird stuff, man. It's weird. I know. That's how I feel about it. Weird, eh?
I'm not about that.
But then, I watched a documentary recently on World War I where they've colorized it. And so it's kind of weird.
I'm not about that lifestyle layer because I've even seen ones where you can remake your dog as like a I don't know, a plush toy or whatever. And I'm like, nah, you have to.
I'm for that.
I need to deal with the grieving process, man. I ain't about that. But
I got a plan for that. My dog sheds a lot, so I got a plan for that. I'm gonna get one, and I'm gonna stuff it with his like fur.
Yeah, right. But why would you want to have like? I guess we're gonna be on the internet forever until YouTube says see you later. Right?
That's it, mate. People will be watching us. We'll be in the Steelers archives. Daredevil's gymming. Okay, nice one. Cody's
we're gonna be
after the gym.
Up there with the greats.
I'm gymming later today. I was meant to yesterday, but I didn't. I was a bit lazy.
Are we gonna be up there with the greats? The Steelers YouTube Law Hall of Fame? I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I need the black and gold, the golden microphone.
We should get golden microphones.
Yeah,
that's a thing. I don't know if that's a thing in the States. It is in Australia. If you win the ratings in a year, you get the golden microphone. So
yeah.
Anyway, right. Well, back to Steelers. Before we get into the topic of today's show, because we're going to do something more. Believe it or not, there's something more crazy you can predict.
More? Right, you want more? Okay.
More. See. Okay, I was going to stop you. Back to the gym stuff. Daredevil he's experienced lifter. He's into the push versus pull. That I like that. Respect, Daredevil. Respect. Know what you mean there. Anyway, but back to the Steelers. Before we get into the crazy prediction thing that we're going to do on today's show, which is different from all the other things you'll see on Steeler Nation social media, digital media, mainstream media, because by gosh, the mainstream media get it wrong almost all the time. But Mark, anything that caught your eye about the Steelers this week? I mean, obviously we've all talked about Allen Robinson. You and I put videos out on Allen Robinson. But like anything else going on in Steeler land that you wanted to talk about?
I want to bring up our good mate Jeffrey Benedict here because he made a really good point on Twitter, and I haven't seen you the video of the photo, but I'll read it out loud. So ever since the Steelers went and traded for Allen Robinson, Jeffrey Benedict, I'm going to quote him on his tweet. He says, Steelers only have 2 receivers. They need to draft one early in the early rounds. Steelers sign a veteran 3 receiver. Steelers have 3 receivers. They need to trade one. Tell me it's a pre-draft dead zone without telling me it's a pre-draft dead zone. The minute and I agree with him 100%, the minute we signed him, everyone wanted to trade, not everyone, Steel fans, some of them, want to trade away DJ. And I'm like, I just don't think it makes any sense. I think you keep DJ.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you brought that up. So I had an interaction with, I don't know whether he's one of our listeners, but since we've started our own venture, he's following me now. I hope he's listening to our show. A guy called Mark Carmichael on Twitter. And basically, that he's been really for them drafting Addison the whole way through, and he's been very comments on a lot of the social media channels out there. And so Steelers City Nation, I don't know who they are, but they said, I wonder if this Robinson trade somehow, some way opens up a Johnson trade exactly on this topic. And this guy that, we follow each other, Mark Carmichael, goes, not DJ dead cap hit would not warrant a trade. So, because I'm across the numbers and I know I love salary cap, and I don't think he's going anywhere, as Gene Smith says. But I said that's actually not fully true. The dead cap hit is much less in 2024. I said next year, but 2024. So it depends on what you get for DJ. It would be feasible if you got a first rounder and picked up a wide receiver, but it would be a gamble. And I don't think you'd get a high enough pick to draft the wide receiver that would fill it, right? When it's probably only Jackson Smith and Jigba that you'd want to get. I didn't put that in the tweet, and I also think Zay Flowers is the only wide receiver in this draft that I want, and I want him in the second round, but I don't think it makes sense for the Steelers this year. But I also said to get a high enough pick, DJ isn't AJ Brown, right? And AJ Brown got traded for, I think it was like the 18th pick last year or something like that. You're not going to get a top 20 pick for DJ, therefore he's not going anywhere. And I agree with you, Jet Devil. I'd rather Jackson Smith and Jigma than Addison. I'm out on Addison. I don't understand that. I don't understand the narrative. And the other thing too, Kenny Pickett's in his second year. Give him as many targets as possible. Yeah. How did Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl against an amazing defense? They had 1 million weapons. Kadarius Toney. They had Marquez Valdes-Scantling. They have Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, Sky Moore. That's 5 guys that I've talked about here. Well, who are the 5 guys for the Steelers now? George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, Allen Robinson, Pat Freiermuth, and then maybe Calvin Austin, maybe Najee Harris in this passing game. Maybe it's a Darnell Washington in the second round, right? The big tight end, right? So we don't even have the 5, and we all talk about scoring points. You need the 5.
The thing I just found funny out of all of it was they solved a problem, and then Steeler Nation wanted to create a new one. You know what I mean?
It's like that thing. You can never have nice things,
Yeah, but you have
Sydney. We always say Sydney-siders can never have nice things. We just break them.
Well, you had 3 receivers: Pickens, Deontay, veteran receiver, Austin, and Miller, who you're around that, trying to make the team and play some snaps. Really, you haven't played snaps in forever. You have that, and then you're like, let's trade DJ. Well, I kind of send the argument a little bit, but at the same time, just keep him and see what happens, because then you have more targets for Kenny.
What I would say, if he doesn't improve on last year and Kenny Pickett is playing better and the offense is playing better, I think he's gone next year, 100%. You trade him to I think the Steelers will be a contender, but the NFL mainstream media won't have the Steelers as a contender unless they win the AFC North and they make to the AFC Championship this year. So you trade him to a contender, and then there we go. Oh, Najee's in the chat. Hey, Najee.
What does Najee think? No, look, honestly, he has to have a better year than last year. And he's got to score TDs. He'll get some yards. He's got great separation. He's a good receiver. Just got to make some big plays, and he should be fine, in my opinion. I say you're right with him. But then the Steelers won't trade away their one of their best players. They just won't. If they do, I'll be shocked. But let's see what happens, man. I'm so over the speculation. We got 5 more days of speculation.
Well, the thing is, J Devil's brought up. I didn't want to get deeply in draft chat, but he's brought up picking Breesy, who we've talked about a lot on our channel over the last month really 3 months almost. And instead of a CB, I think they really like Deontay Banks, the cornerback. But I think it's Darnell Wright. I was saying this to Mark off air. Daniel Jeremiah has mocked Darnell Wright to the Steelers since like pretty much day dot. They talked to him at the Senior Bowl. Everyone's classed Wright as a right tackle, but at the Senior Bowl, he said when he spoke to the Steelers asked him if he wanted to play left tackle again, which he played before he went to Tennessee, at the college he was at before. So I think the Steelers see him on both sides. And the thing that got me fully, like Mark, it's been Breesy and Wright are the two guys I've been telling you about for 5 months now. They're the two guys that I've pretty much been talking about. And when Daniel Jeremiah did his mock draft with Peter Schrager this week, he said there's 3 equal top tackles, or 3 tier 1 tackles in this draft. Paris Johnson, Broderick Jones, Darnell Wright. Now, I think for the Steelers, ideally, Broderick Jones, I don't think he'll fall that far. Someone will even trade ahead of the Steelers to get him. That's why I think it's Darnell Wright. We don't know. Let's see. We've only got 6 more days to go. Right? We'll see.
It's been a lot of fun, diving into these things and the play and stuff like that. But I'm pretty keen for the actual day. The day should be all right. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sorry, for us is that way, right? 3 days, and we find.
Man, I'm taking Friday off, right? That's how dedicated I am. I'm taking Friday off, man.
Mate, it's going to be good. So, and the organization.
I didn't even take Super Bowl off. I'm taking Friday off.
Didn't you take Super Bowl off? That should be a national holiday here too, because it's our Monday. It should be a national holiday here for us. But no, I like the direction they're going this year. I think we have a good chance to win some games. So, and I know we're going to try and cover the schedule today.
You just stuffed it. I wanted to surprise everyone.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, so Mark and I, in the season of doing something different to everyone else who's doing mock drafts, Mark and I thought we'd do something crazy and actually try and, now we don't know the weeks that people are playing, like the weeks that Steelers are playing these opponents. We don't know what the days and times are, and that stuff can factor in when you've got a short turnaround and Monday Night Football and Thursday Night Football, and who you're seeing at what week of the season and when your buy is and all those things. But Mark and I wanted to talk about, JW, exactly. Can't wait to hear.
So true. True. Whatever
you can
happens.
never pick the right person, even Najee Harris, some people hated that. I'm like, even if you don't want a running back in the first round, you get him on a 5-year deal. Sorry, Najee. I know you're in the live chat. Some people out there in Steeler Nation were crazy. They didn't like you at 24.
There's so much truth to that, though. I can't wait to hear people complain about what we pick in the draft. It's like, just trust the process, man. It's all right. It's all right. It's fine. We'll be there.
Yeah. Most winning franchise, right? So getting back to the schedule stuff. But one of the narratives that I've tried to hold all off season long, and Mark and I have talked about it many times. We ended the show on this a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was even last week, is how the Steelers progressed in the offseason to get more wins, right? They got 9 last year. How do they go and get 2 or 3 more? I mean, I personally think if you can get 13, you probably win the AFC North just because you're going to have to have beaten enough of the AFC North opponents. But 11 or 12 at least gets you into the playoffs. So Mark and I thought, based on where we're sitting right now, based on everything that's done, let's have a look at try and predict how the Steelers will fall, how many games they'll win. Now, the other thing I thought was interesting this week is I was listening to that idiot Pac-Man Jones on Pat McAfee. He has to type in. I hate that. You know what? I'm watching so much less Pat McAfee. But he said
regular.
It sounds like it. But he basically said, he said this week when they signed Allen Robinson, he was like, yeah, that's fine. I mean, because they were all like, that's dangerous. The Steelers offense getting better if Matt Canada can actually do something. And he was like, yeah, but they can't stop our offense. It's all about scoring points. And it is. And I think the AFC in general is about scoring points now. It's just you look at the quarterbacks. But I thought, hang on a second. They've lost Jesse Bates. They've lost another cornerback as well. I don't think they've re-signed Von Bell yet. Their secondary is looking a lot weaker. This is a really good thing for the Steelers. So the reason why I bring that up is just as we go through the schedule, there's lots of changes this team is going to have, and there'll be all this hype around the draft. But remember last year, and Mark and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago on, I think it was Mad Monday show about the Ravens, and it was all that Lamar Jackson story where he didn't have wide receivers. He had plenty of good wide receivers. He hasn't used them. But we talked about that narrative of how the Ravens always, or the Browns supposedly win the draft. Then they go on to do not a lot. So let's see. Howdy, just me. All right, so we'll bring the schedule up on the screen for everyone.
There you go.
So hopefully internet doesn't lag too much, but I mean it's just an image, so it shouldn't be that bad.
Which direction are we going? Are we doing home first?
Let's start with the home, and then we'll do the away.
All right, the same order, like left to right.
I think actually, you know what? Let's start with AFC North first at home. Then we'll do AFC North away, and then we'll do all the other opponents.
Right on.
Does that make sense? Does that sound good? Sweet as. Oh, pardon me, I should have muted then. All right, so AFC North at home. Mark, let's go with... Actually, you know what? Let's do it by team in the AFC North. All right, so let's go Baltimore Ravens.
I think right now, before the draft, everything like that, everything's been happening, I think you have to beat the Ravens at home. I think the way the Steelers have been situated this year in our offseason and the way that they've been crumbling, I think you have to beat them at home. Like hands down, you need to. So I'm going to say win.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you got?
Yeah, I especially if Lamar's not there, I don't think they can.
Even if he is there.
No, even if he is there, but I'm just saying, I think if he's not there, how is that quarterback going to play against the Steelers secondary at home? Like, we've just seen the Steelers do some incredible stuff. So at home, even in games they shouldn't have. So yeah, I've got the win there. Cool. All right. What about Browns at home?
Browns, I think. Look, I'm going to put them as an automatic W, right? And this is kind of a hard exercise because we don't know where it's going to be in the schedule. But I think
I reckon they'll be about week 5 to week 7. That's how.
Yeah, we always play them early. In the last few years, we played the Ravens late, which is kind of weird. I'd rather play them early. I think.
Ravens? No, I'd much rather play them late.
You want to play them later?
Yeah, I think the Steelers do much better against the Ravens late in the season.
Because they're injured?
Yeah, but I also just think, you were there at the Christmas Day game. Like, I just think the Steelers, late in the season when they're making a push, I think early in the season, it's a game that you want to have everything together for the Ravens. I think.
Well, even with last year, Steelers versus Ravens week 16 was pretty fun to watch, and they won that game.
That's what I mean. I think it's great.
Yeah. Okay, so Browns, I'm going to say, I haven't really heard too much news of what the Browns have been doing in the offseason, but the Browns are the Browns. They're still in their own way until they can prove me otherwise.
They've been doing all right. They've made some, I wouldn't call it savvy moves, but
are they keeping quiet because of all the Watson stuff and that kind of thing? They're trying to keep quiet, you think?
Yeah, but I mean, also, they don't have many picks in the draft. I don't think they picked till San Francisco picked until 99. I don't think they picked till the 3rd round or something, the Browns.
Okay. I'm going to because it's a home anyway, I'm going to give it a W.
Okay. I reckon that's easy. I would agree. But I think it will be closer than what people think.
I think this game versus the Browns at home will be closer than the Ravens.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. All right, what about Bengals?
Well, I'm going to give away my tip anyway, but I have to split them somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know which one to split. Boy, I want to give them a win here because they're at home. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to give them a win at home and probably split the other one because the Bengals are still hard to defeat. Even though they've lost a few players, they do have Joe Burrow. They have the weapons at receiver. Can we stop that? Can Pettis and those guys? Can they stop the receivers? Can they limit the points? Like Pac-Man Jones said. Even though I don't listen to him either. I think he's a terrible person.
He's a flop.
Yeah, he's a big flop. So.
All right,
I've got 3-0.
All right, this is going to sound weird. If they play the Bengals at home, as long as it's not in the first week, if they play the Bengals at home early in the season, I actually think they lose that game, right? But if they play the Bengals away at later in the season, so assuming that's the case because they've played them at home early, I think they're more likely to beat the Bengals away later in the season than they are to beat the Bengals at home early in the season, if that makes sense, right? Yeah. So, because I think they get hotter. So I'm a little bit it's a little bit shaky for me on whether they're going to win that or not. So I'm going to go with my gut, and I'm going to say that they're more likely to beat the Bengals away than they are at home. And I say that because I think the Steelers will get up for the game more away than they will at home. And I think the Bengals will also be more focused about the game away than the game at home. So I'm actually saying they both win away.
Yeah,
which is a weird thing to say, but I
know what you're saying. I don't think they're going to sweep us like a few years ago. I think it's going to happen, but I don't think we're going to sweep them either at the same time. I think it's going to be a 1 and 2 chance to try and control the division. So you've got them winning. So you got them losing at home to the Bengals. Is that correct?
Pardon?
You got them losing at home to the Bengals.
No.
Yeah. Okay. But on the other side, are you gonna split them?
On the other side, I'm going to say that they beat the Bengals away.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, which is weird to say. So
the damn Bengals.
All right. So all right. Well, going on that front, Bengals away. Who do you have?
I guess if I'm doing a win here, which is probably the opposite logic to you, I'm going to go they're going to win. Because I think right now in this year with everything happening, I don't think the Steelers can beat them 2-0 like they used to. Remember the streak we had against them, like 11 wins in a row for over 5 years?
Yeah.
It's not the same Bengals team. So they can win. They can win with a field goal. They can come back with Joe Burrow. They can win by points too.
So I think that worries me right now is I still think we need another strong safety on this roster. And I think we need to draft someone in the 3rd or the 4th round so that we can stop guys like T. Higgins and their tight ends.
You know what's interesting though? I think the Browns have a pretty good record against the Bengals with Joe Burrow. Do you know that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Browns versus Joe Burrow. I think they've won 4 in a row.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
It's nuts. Anyway, back to
1 and 4, 1 and 4, 1 and 4 against the Browns. So the Browns can also they fire up against the Bengals too for some reason.
Well, they used to play for who's going to be the worst in the AFC North. So now that's going to be the Browns and the Ravens. All right. So speaking of Ravens, win away, win at home. What have you? Well,
I'm going to say with everything going on, I'm going to say they're going to win away again because we saw.
I agree.
Wait a minute. No, did the Steelers? No, they lost away, didn't they, last year? Wait a minute.
We lost at home and we won away. Remember that was the Kenny Pickett to Najee Harris. That's Kenny effing Pickett.
Yeah, I got it mixed up. Okay, I'm going to say they can win away again because Kenny Pickett has that that knowledge there playing. And I also remember last year, some Steel fans. When I always say some, I'm like the small majority of 5% were saying that Kenny shouldn't play. We should tank and they should let you know. But he needs. Oh my gosh! Do you remember that narrative?
Taken.
Yeah, we need that rep there. Kenny needs that rep to go into Baltimore to win. So I reckon they can win that game too. No matter where it is, I think they can win versus the Ravens. I think
and it's like that game that we won. Like we won that Ben's game there as well. Final week of the season there to make the playoffs. And then, even in 2019 when we didn't have Ben and we had Duck and Mason, we almost and they did end up getting beat toward the end of that game, but we were in the mix of the playoffs even into that game, and they were a much better team back then. So, I'm a lot more on the Steelers know how to play at M&T Bank Stadium. It's like what I said there with the Bengals. These are the sorts of games the Steelers get up for, right? So, yeah.
Well, cool. In the last 6 games, they've only lost once, and that was the Trubisky game.
Yeah.
Can you believe that for two teams that used to be slobberknockers together, Steelers versus Ravens? Trubisky stuffed it up, and then they're now 5 out of 6.
Exactly. All right. So, what about the Browns away? That can be a hard game.
Yeah, it can be. Can we verse? Was it Baker Mayfield that Minka picked him off? Yeah. Can he go back there?
But that was at home. That was at home.
Oh, was it? Oh, I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
Browns away.
Again, I think this is a bit like the Bengals. I think it depends. If it's later in the season, I think it's harder for the Steelers. If I think it's earlier in the season, I think the Steelers take this one.
What happened last year? They got the who's the bloke? The backup quarterback beat us, right? Brissett, didn't he?
Yeah,
I think. I think the Steelers can win this one. I've got them sweeping going 5-1 in the division. So I'm gonna say win.
All right, I'm hesitant, but I'm gonna say win. I'm gonna say win. Although Chubb gets going at home, that's the only worry. All right, cool. So right now we're both 5-1.
Let's go.
Let's go. I think 4-2 is a bit more realistic, but it's hard to say without knowing the schedule right now. And remember, guys, like Mark and I are doing this based on who we've seen the Steelers sign in the offseason.
Yeah.
And then, and look, maybe I think 5-1 with improvements on the O-line is definitely a lot more realistic. I still worry about the secondary, and I think that's a problem when you're trying to beat the Bengals and you're trying to
if they go
force the Browns, to open it up. But yeah, I think, and also it's pre-draft, so we don't know what holes people are going to fill and what they're not. All right, so let's continue at home.
So Cardinals first.
Yeah, we're just going to go. I was about to say left to right, but it depends on which way you're looking at it with the screen. So we're just going to go top to bottom. So yeah, we'll go Cardinals first.
Cardinals at home. I don't think Kyler Murray can beat us. Now they can run the football with James Conner, but I don't think Murray can come into Heinz Field, and I think Highsmith and TJ are going to have a field day on the running quarterback. I think that's a game that you can take over and win like 30-10 or something. Like, yeah, honestly, I new uniforms or not, we can win that game.
The defensive scheming of Tomlin, Austin, and this defense is going to befuddle a guy like Kyler Murray who doesn't do his homework. He's too busy playing PlayStation. So, it's yeah, I think that's a win as well. So, let's go Cardinals. All right, cool. What about Green Bay? How are you feeling about Green Bay?
Peterson's old team as well, Patrick Peterson,
they'll be up for that game.
Green Bay.
James Conner playing for them? James Conner, versus Steelers?
That should be fun to watch. Hopefully we can look, nothing against him. I can smack him and see what happens. But okay, so Green Bay. Don't know if Rodgers is playing or not because no one knows with that scenario.
Nah, he'll be at the Jets by then.
So this one to me could be a 50-50, but I think right now if you're saying no Rodgers, I think you can say a win. And I know I've given a lot of wins so far, but I will try and give some losses.
Well, I think the other thing with Green Bay is I think it depends when in the season. I like it late. I like it early. I personally think it's probably a first 6-week game, especially because the history of the Green Bay and the Steelers. But if this is right in that middle part of the season, week 8 to 12, I don't like it because this is when the Steelers sometimes have that dip or they might have an injury or something like that. So I think the Green Bay game is very dependent on the schedule. And it depends if the Steelers are coming off a short week and all those sorts of things. On the basis of things right now, I'm going to have a win, but this is one that I could see the Steelers dropping. So, yeah, we'll go with that one. All right, what about the Jags?
Who their quarterback is?
Jags, yeah, but Jordan Love, I'm actually a fan of Jordan Love. I think I like that.
Yeah, Jags, I'm going to actually put down as a loss. I think that, this is a harder team than... I know it's really weird to say the Jags beating us, and they haven't been relevant since 2017 or even back further. But they've got a good quarterback in Lawrence, and I think that if it's going to go into a shootout and we get behind, then Kenny can't, maybe we have some problems with Kenny finding receivers or something like that, where the offense isn't clicking with Matt Canada, then it's going to be very hard to catch up. But I do like to play them at home rather than play them in Jags territory. So I think
actually, I got them a win. I think the way Kenny showed up in that preseason game against their starters, I think with better players around him, I think that'll be a shootout style game. I reckon that'll be top notch. So I'm actually going to go the Steelers with a win. I in my mind when we saw the schedule, I was going to say loss.
So what score? You 38-35 or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Or alternatively, it'll be 10-7. Be dominated by defense.
All right. Should be a good game, though. That's a good up-and-coming quarterback, Kenny Pickett, and with Lawrence there, too. So, Lawrence is starting to progress now. That was always... Remember I said to you last year, I was like, they should go get Doug Peterson before he was even in the conversation. Then they went and got him, and then I said to you, look out now. All right. New England Patriots. Patriots. I think you have to win this one.
Jesse James caught that ball. It's been 1950 days since Jesse James caught that ball.
You can't look, I know I'm not hating on Juju. I'm just saying you can't let Juju come back and win. You have to smack him. Now's
the time to exact some revenge on Belichick and square the ledger.
Yep, I think so. I think the
Again,
Steelers
I
have
think
to-
that's very dependent on the week that they play them as well.
True. If it's like if they're not in the playoffs or whatever we are, then who's going to be ready?
I feel like this, as much as the league wants to do this early, I think this is a later game. But remember as well with the Patriots, they could have a new quarterback. Like apparently they're pretty in on Will Levis.
Yeah, right. Well, that'd be good to see. I want to see TJ run him around. So I think just the rivalry of like Juju back there, nothing against him, but I think when if Minka sees Juju or if you see him, you're like you're mates, but you want to go smack him. You want to beat your mate. You want to win, right? So I want to see Juju leave with a loss, and also Belichick leave with a loss too. Right? You're exactly right. Got to square it up. I think the Steelers need some victories there. There should be a fun game. That could be a Sunday night football game. We don't know, but I think a win. I'm hoping for a win.
Yeah, we'll go win there. What about San Francisco?
San Fran's a good side, man.
Yeah, that's a hard one, man.
San Fran has so many weapons on offense, but the thing is, who's going to be their quarterback?
I don't think it matters as much. I don't think the Steelers have someone on the roster right now that can cover George Kittle, and that scares the shit out of me.
And what's the other bloke? My favorite, Debo, number 19. He's fantastic. McCaffrey as well.
And Ayuk. I can't see the Steelers winning this game.
Too. Yeah, McCaffrey as well. They could put up if we don't have any good defense or we have a bad day, the 49ers are one of those hot teams that could go to the Super Bowl. So who have they got? They got Purdy there. They got Lance is still there.
Lance is still there. Some people say they're shopping him. But like. They don't pick till 99. They could give up someone and draft higher. But I think you'd like what didn't they go get? They've got another guy as well. They got one of the free agent quarterback 49ers. They got who else I could see them picking up? Oh, they got Sam Darnold. That's right. But I could see them. Yeah. I could see them moving on from one of those guys. And if they traded Trey Lance, I think they would pick up Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph in that offense would be pretty good.
I like what Dante says too. Their scheme is ridiculously scary. It is. It's the way they play football. It's just fundamental great football to watch. Isn't it?
The Steelers should be able to play that way with the guys they've got.
We'd hope so, but yeah, I think they can run it. They can pass it. They got good defense. They can score points. They're physical. They're well coached. I'd say they're going to lose that game. Yeah, but if we win that one, that's a huge upset. Huge upset.
All right. What about Tennessee Titans?
I reckon. I've given away a lot of wins. I think we win that game. I don't think they're enough.
I think it depends when. Again, I'm a big depender, but
we stop if Henry's still there. Tannehill doesn't really scare me that much. I think he's signing back with them. So I think we can win that game at home. I think. They're a scary team. I don't think so. They're just the Titans.
It's all about Derrick Henry, though.
But they still should be able to stop him with the physical defense that we.
And they could trade up too. My problem is right now, I've given them. I've got them at like two losses, and you've got them at 2 losses, and I
know, right? How good is
and it's like. It's like 12 games. It's like 10-2 right now.
How's the bias? Like no bias at all. Far out. It's so good, isn't it? It's so fun to do. It's so fun to try and pick the teams who win.
9-2. Sorry, 9-2.
Yeah, you just can't escape the black and gold bias. I don't even care. I just think we can win. Some of them. Most of them. Anyway.
Well, I'm going to go.
All right, try and talk yourself into a loss if you can. It's very hard. I think it's very hard.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to talk myself back into the loss against the Jags.
Okay. I don't think Tennessee Titans are that good of a football team. I think they're just an average team. And Ryan Tannehill does not scare me at all to score points.
I think they're more likely to beat the Titans than they are the Jags. So that's right. I'm going to do that. All right.
So what do we have? Both 9-2. That's fantastic.
No, now I'm 8-3, and you're 8-3 as well. Yeah. You're 8-3 as well. Yeah, we're both 8-3.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's all right.
So we've got 5 games left.
Yeah, so we've got Texans, Colts, Raiders, again, this is very dependent on when they play people because they got to travel a lot to the West Coast, and like, if it's all in a stretch, it could be pretty decent. So, have I got that right? 5 games. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Let's go Texans first.
I think we can beat the Texans because they're obviously going to have a rookie quarterback, whoever that may be, if it is
Are
Stroud
they?
or whatnot.
Are they?
Aren't they going rookie quarterback?
D'Amico Ryans has suggested they're not. I mean, most people think they will, but
who else do they have? They've got Davis Mills as their quarterback, right?
Again, mate, that's a Mason Rudolph target. I could see them trading for Trey Lance as well.
Yeah, right.
They got lots of picks.
Well, right now, before all these trades, I think they can beat them. So I think the Texans are not pretty much like the only one scares me in the AFC South is the Jags, really, than anyone else. But I think they can beat them there.
All right.
So beat them away. I'm trying to get to my number. That's very.
See, I'm at half a shot getting to this game as well. By the way.
Oh, really? You're gonna go to the Texan game?
It depends when it is. It depends if we do if we go on our honeymoon right after the wedding or not. But maybe that's the most realistic game I can get to this year. If we end up over there before Christmas. So
when does it need to be? Does it need to be what month?
October.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a pretty fun city, man. I've been there I went there for.
But I bet they put that on the week that we want to be in Austin if we go. So anyway. Okay. I'm
going win.
Yeah, I think they're gonna win that game. All right, let's go Colts. And this is really interesting because you've got no idea what the Colts are doing right now. Like,
who do they have as quarterback? They're gonna get one in the draft too, aren't they?
Yeah, but see, I still think that they could be in to trade for Lamar, and then the Ravens are picking a quarterback really high. Like, I don't know. It's a hard one.
I've heard that they're going to go that other guy, Richardson or something, for the Colts. I've heard he's going to mock there.
Yeah, but he's not going to. The problem is they want someone to start right now, and Richardson needs a year to sit. I think that any team that wants to play Richardson.
What players on the Colts offense or defense that really scare you as well? Because also the Steelers have kind of had the Colts.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, true.
I think I really like Michael Pittman. I'm actually a big Pittman Jr. fan, to be honest. The wide receiver, the big 6'4" guy out of USC.
I think Steelers versus Colts have been pretty good over the last few years. They've always had their number.
But Kenny you know what I like too? Raiders and Colts. Kenny Pickett indoors.
Check this out. The Steelers have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times in a row. I knew it. 9 times they beat the Colts haven't beaten Steelers since 2012. 8. Unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I knew they had a good record against them.
Yeah, right.
So we win. We win that game just based off that. That's a fantastic record.
I like Kenny Pickett indoors. I don't know how I don't know the indoors.
Ryan Brown says nobody cares about the Colts.
Yeah. Sam Oliver. I might see it at the Houston game. All right, cool. What about Raiders?
Raiders, I think actually going to lose that game. I think they're going to lose that game.
You can't tip them to win until they prove they can win that game.
It's very tough going. It doesn't matter if it's Oakland or wherever it is, LA, it doesn't matter. It's very hard to win out that way. So it would be a true test for the team. And maybe that was a Big Ben thing because Big Ben didn't fare very well on the West Coast. But they got Jimmy G, right? Haven't they, the Raiders? I think he's over there. Yeah, so that's going to be a tough game. Could see 3 points in it. They get a field goal, they win. I'd say Raiders win that game, just for now.
I also, I'm really glad. It got me thinking about Darren Waller. I'm really glad we don't play the Giants this year because I think the Giants are going to be pretty good. Plus, they re-signed. The other thing that the Raiders did, which I think will be hard for the Steelers, particularly if you look at a lot of the teams they're playing, like the Texans, the Bengals, the Browns, the Colts, even the Ravens with J.K. Dobbins, the 49ers. There's a lot of teams that the Steelers face and Green Bay and Titans. Steelers are playing a lot of teams with running backs, like really top 20 running backs in the league. So, like, I think that that's something that really needs to be factored in from Steel fans is like running the football on our side will be really important to take time of possession away, as will what that defense looks like. And so I think that's interesting when they've gone and got a guy like Keanu Neal who's going to be good against the run. And I also think look at the linebackers they've signed like Cole Holcomb, and then think about like Jack Campbell in the draft. They need to be able to stop the run in these games. And that's why I think depending on the way the schedule is set with some of these teams, they go away and then they've got to play the Raiders and the Josh Jacobs. I think that becomes a real challenge for them down the stretch.
Guess what season the last time they won on the West Coast at their home? Have a guess. It's pretty long.
Are you playing a video? There's something weird going on with the audio.
It's a bloody helicopter outside.
Okay. So playing. The last time they beat the Raiders.
Yeah, like in their home. If I've done my research.
2004 or something?
Nah, according to my research, you guys can prove me wrong, but it's 1995.
No way.
Yeah, 1995. I'm pretty sure. Oh, actually, no, my bad. Wait. No, that's right. 1995, they won 29-10 at Oakland. So, can't win there.
All right. What about the LA Rams? It was shocking.
I reckon that team shouldn't even be in the NFL. They're like imploding. We got the best steal out of them. They pretty much sold everything to get a Super Bowl. Now they're on like in cap hell.
Yeah,
or something.
but they're the classic Mike Tomlin crappy team we lose to.
How they go from being such a good team and then win the Super Bowl?
No, because they traded their house for that Super Bowl. Like they remember it was like F them picks, man, and now it's like F we need picks.
Like this is what frustrates me the most because LA is meant to be an Australian team here, representative of Australia, and I hate it. That they it just frustrates me. They're not a good team.
Let's not get
even LA fans don't even like LA like the Rams. So
hey, Pepper.
I'm gonna say win. I think you have to win that game. I think Steelers fans will be out in force, big time, in that stadium. We did for the Chargers, so I think we'll be there. But mate, tell me that team is not good this year. They're not a good side. I don't care who they got.
This is just one of those ones that I just.
So is Matt Stafford going to come back and play?
Yeah,
because he was injured last year, right?
Yeah.
Who's
on their secondary, their pass rush? They're running. Oh, I'm going to give them the win, but if they lose that game, I did say that
they got Cooper Kupp, some other no-name receivers. They got Tyler Higbee, he's okay. Stafford, Cam Akers. They got some guys, but I don't know, man.
They're always homegrown. They can draft well, though. They can draft well.
Nothing scares me at this team. I think they sold out for the Super Bowl. They've been terrible ever since.
I'm going to go win as well. All right, Seahawks. I'm just telling you right now, it'll be close, but somehow the Steelers find a way to lose this game. I
was actually going to pick a lose as well, or you pick a loss too. So I think I'm like 11-5. But this team is a good football team at home. So this is going to be like a very hard one to get. I wanted to choose win because mine was meant to be 12-4, but I'm going to go loss here too. I think Seahawks, they lose that way. So your Raiders going to be tough, and the Seahawks going to be tough as well.
All right, well, we both have 12-5. And interestingly, with the three of our losses are all the... No, with four of our losses are the same.
12-5 as we have? Is that right?
We both have 12-5, and four of our 5 losses, we've both picked the same game.
Jennifer writes, I'll be pissed if they lose to LA. Me too. I just don't think...
Guys, I put win on the sheet. They're losing this game. Timestamp it. 22nd of April at Aussie time, 21st of April, in the US time, they lose that game.
But you know what? I honestly don't think anyone really follows them in America. Like they're not a good team, are they? I don't know. It's LA, mate.
They do follow them because like the amount of mainstream. I mean, a lot of the NFL media are based out of LA, so that's half the problem. But I'm just saying they find a way to implode and lose that game. Maybe that's a game that Trubisky's playing because, God forbid, Kenny Pickett, has had a concussion.
I used to like the Rams, but back when I was in St. Louis.
I hope I eat these words too, Daredevil. It's just how this goes, right?
Yeah.
The two games on this schedule are the Patriots and the Rams. Even the Rams more than the Texans, because the Texans are actually building something there. They're the two games on this schedule that you're like, they can't lose those games, and they're the two ones that are most risky.
So what do we got? We both got 12-5. So that's winning the North.
12-5. I'm feeling all right about that. Yeah. I think the Steelers are at least 1 to 2 wins. Remember when we talked about this a couple weeks ago, I said they're 10.5 for me. You had them 11 or 12. You've stuck by that, and they've still got the draft to come. So, and we said that before they signed Allen Robinson and filled a need. So
I think I said last year 12 as well, but I feel more confident in my speech saying 12 this year because it makes more sense for the moves they've made.
I don't think it's just Ben on the West Coast. That requires game planning, schedule, organization. But I do agree. Like Ben clearly had problems out there.
We'll find out, right? Because I think he had a really bad record going that way,
and massively bad. It was like 7-1, like 3-17 or something like that.
Yeah,
but I think the other thing I wanted to say about Robinson, we didn't say it at the start of the show. I don't know if anyone saw, but they converted his contract to mostly a signing bonus, so we've got more money to spend in the second wave of free agency as well. But yeah. Interesting.
I'm kind of glad we didn't go 17-0, but I'm kind of glad we didn't go 8-9.
But what I would say, I think this schedule, especially depending on what weeks happen, this could be like a 10-7. Or you know what? If the Steelers hit it, it could I could see a 13-4 or 14-3. You don't know. You really don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna wait and see to them on the field actually, playing the game. But
yeah,
I think with some of these teams, honestly, the Ravens are falling. You got to beat the Pats at home to send one back. Niners will be very difficult. Cardinals, they should beat them. Hopefully,
that was a game that as well. If the Cardinals, if that's again a mid-season game, that's a game that the Steelers could lose. If the Cardinals get it together, I just don't think. I think Kyle Murray has some of the best talent in the world, but he doesn't do enough. And the problem is, it's remember when you and I played. And this is a true thing, but you and I are playing on Madden, and I had to pass from 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage because you can't see over the damn line.
Yeah,
right. And here's the thing: if you look at his stats about how far he has to pass and stand behind the line of scrimmage, and the percentage that he has in the league for the most amount of yards passed behind the line of scrimmage, he's got to be 20 to 30 yards behind the line of scrimmage once the ball snaps to see the field.
So we're versing now. We're versing the AFC South, right? And we're versing the NFC West. So remember last year was it the NFC South we beat 4-0. I think we took care of them. So there could be an opportunity where they go against 3-1 in the South, and the West isn't that strong as well. Maybe going 2-2 there. So and if you win some division games, you've got a good chance. I don't know what the other.
It's going to come down to the division. I mean, this is the thing. If the Steelers can go 5-1 in the division, as you and I have them right now. 12-5 is totally reasonable. If you go 4-2 in the division, though, then you better play well away.
I like what Jen said. It's hard not to have the black and gold glasses on. For sure, it is. But I think we did okay getting 12-5.
I mean, but surely this team can find a way, as I've just said there, to get 2 to 3 more wins at least on last year.
I think so.
Especially the players.
Yeah, with the pieces we got,
and they could have got 10. They should have won 10 to 11 games last year if they'd started Kenny.
Damn,
from at least week 3, and Claypool could have caught that ball.
Robinson's wearing number 11. Claypool's
I saw that. Yeah.
Good.
That's good.
Claypool.
He's going to put the 11 back to being a respectable.
I think he will. He's actually a good receiver.
Do you know what I like? So I say this sometimes. I like tight ends in the 80s, but as their numbers. But I like wide receivers in the teens. And what's cool that I find is wide receivers play a similar position to winger in rugby. And the wingers in rugby are 11 and 14. And I like that we've gotten 11 and 14. It's just from where I got into sport, having played it since I was 5, just something I like about.
So what do we have now? Because remember the receivers we had all in the 80s, right? But now
so we've got 11, 14. 19. So we've got 11 Robinson, 14 Pickens, DJ's 18, Calvin Austin's 19.
I think Miller's 17.
Pardon?
I think he's 17.
I think he's 17. Gunner he's in the 80s, isn't he? Isn't Gunner
89.
89, yeah. But I don't think he'll be there when the season starts. So yeah, brings it. And Cody White is 16 or 15?
I think he's 15.
Yeah.
But we had, back in the day with Heinz Warden, there was all the 80 numbers, Burris and, Randall.
But that was going back also a hallmark to like the 70s and 80s when you had Stallworth at 82 and then Swan at 88 and, those sorts of guys. So
yeah, Cody White's 15, Miller's 17, and Gunner's the old man now with 89. All the rest is like the 18, 14. So cool.
Yeah.
And then Jordan Addison will be.
I should. Hey, let off.
It's our channel now. It's only the YouTube rules, man. It's all right. Fuck. No, I'm just joking. Holy dooly.
I like late in the draft though. I like the guy from Stanford. I like is it Michael Wilson?
Wilson. Yeah, it's Brian Brown. Robinson's wearing number 11. He's wearing Claypool's old number.
Yeah.
Not retiring that one, are we? Jeez.
Yeah, I like Michael Wilson late in the draft. I really like him late in the draft.
Have you guys got any questions in the chat? We've got 15 people in the chat. Make sure you hit the like, hit the sub, do like YouTube stuff.
Yeah, exactly, guys. We're trying to crack
100.
Yeah, we're trying to crack the 100 ahead of next week. We know we've got a lot of listeners that are listening to our show and not subscribe, but that's Mark and I were talking about that earlier on in the show. Like that's something that we're guilty of ourselves. But if you do listen to our show regularly, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. But yeah, any last questions before we wrap up the show? I like Darwin Nolan. Steelers winning 12 games this year. Good work, George. No, Addison. I love it.
Honestly, if they have a good start to the year, I think this offense can be a lot better than last year with all the pieces we've made. So you want to hope that. Otherwise, I don't want to be too hyped up, but it's been a pretty fun off season. Matt, put it together.
I still think that there needs to be a linebacker and or strong safety brought in still in the mid rounds in the draft. Like I still think that that's something they've got to do.
Yeah, man. I reckon this team is on the up and up, and I think the AFC North's on the down right now. Dead set. I think they are.
Sam Oliver says draft smart. I mean, as the draft dude say, nice Mustang there, Sam too. But as the draft dude say, draft good players. That's what you want to do.
Best player available, man. I know. Like J-Devil said too. We're going to complain either way, but I'm just keen to have some good top picks in the first 2 days. 17.
I didn't complain last year in round 1. I did not complain last year round 1 or round 2.
Or round 4.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because we didn't get Malik Willis. That was my thing.
Well, the funnest part is when you draft them. I'm not a draft dude, but it's like, you go and look at the highlights straight away. You're excited. You're part of the team. You know what I mean? We
will get to your super chat, live chat, Cody. But J-Devil, I agree with Gonzalez. I'm not a fan of Carter. I don't like the off the field stuff. I don't like it. I know that that's ridiculous thing and he's worth taking the punt on, but I can't get over the.
I have a theory. I have a theory to that as well, right? There's all this speculation about getting Carter, right? The minute we don't get him, do the Steelers not care anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like he fades away, and there's another player that goes to another team. We don't care anymore, do we?
Yeah.
So it's just all this pre.
Did we care about William? Oh yeah, people did often talk about William Jackson, but Cody. So plans are Mark and I will be doing I've actually taken Friday out of work, so we'll be doing some draft stuff next week. We're going to try and do a show in the morning if we can, our time, so mid-afternoon for everyone, or earlier afternoon for everyone, or early evening, about a little bit earlier than this time. If you're listening live right now, just before it all starts and hypes up, then I think our plan is to do most of, if not all of round 1 live, and then we'll. Mark and I are looking at a crossover between the Steelers Nation Australia and this channel. So and doing like some cool things there. Plus there'll be some snippet videos coming out as well. So that's pretty fun. But Mark does these all the time. If you don't follow him on Steeler Nation Australia, go hit like, subscribe to that one as well. You do that really well, Mark. You do all the games and stuff. So it's fun that I get a chance to do it with everyone as well. Day 2. will fall. That sort of time falls about when we go live. So, I mean, I think this will be live on this channel, certainly. Or I'll be live on this channel for day 2. And then day 2 and 3 is like 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. It kicks off in the morning for us. What will be the case, I think, for this channel, at least for Steelers Touchdown Under, will be that this is what I did last year, and then I ended up getting up. I was going to sleep till 4 a.m., but I will wake up sort of 2 a.m., see if there's any swaps being made, like trades being made for picks. If not, get up for the 3rd round, definitely do that live, and then we'll see what happens, because the Steelers have a 100 pick gap.
Right.
But I know what will happen. It'll be like last year. It'll be, I'll just end up staying up and be pretty tired on Sunday afternoon. But I love the draft. I love everything it's got. And so there will be more than enough draft content. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for you guys in States, I'll be releasing my day 1, 2, 3 top 75, maybe top 100, but I'm trying to narrow it to 75 players that fit what the Steelers are doing. So you're gonna get lots of draft content this week. We've been banking some stuff up. I'm a little bit behind on some of my player profiles that I'd wanted to get out there, but watch out. This week is going to be a deluge of draft content. A deluge, mate. A deluge.
What a word. Yeah, so pretty much we should be live for the draft on Thursday night 1, and we'll do that one there, and then we'll still try and do TDU, go live again. We've got to cover it on everywhere, so we're going to cover as best we can. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm getting the beers out, mate. I'm getting the beers out Friday.
Yeah, Friday will be good. We're getting up
10 a.m.
Beautiful, man.
Drinking beer at 10:30.
So look, it's I think it's just going to be a great, and hopefully we see, especially because we are going to be broadcasting live. I mean, I'm really hoping for a lot of the trades that we saw last year in the first round, and let's get spicy with it. And that's why these mock drafts, like, who knows what's going to happen. So, but I will say my one tip this week that I think Mark and I might have talked about it in the Mound of the Mad Monday shows, and it's certainly one that we've talked about off air. The Steelers are going to have to do some sort of trade during the draft process or just before, because I don't think the Steelers are going to leave a 100 pick gap, right? They pick 120 and then they don't pick till 234. They're not going to do that. They like the value in the 5th and the 6th round. They're going to need to get back in there. So Pepper puts in there a few sherbets. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
At least for day 1. Day 1, I'll probably have that prepped and ready. That's a fun one, right? So yeah, we're going to be live on both channels, and then also try and.
You know what? I might make my Super Bowl wings.
You're gonna make wings for it.
Yeah, right? Man. I might make my Super Bowl wings.
You know why this is fun? Because it's fun to see Matty nerd out when you're going to nerd out in day 1.
I'm going to nerd out. If there's going to be players that come up, and I'm going to go, this guy had this statistic and da-da-da-da-da-da.
But you're going to stress out because when it's like around 10 and they'd be like, oh my goodness, if this guy falls here, I'm just going to sit back and just watch you. I'm going to watch you. I'm not even going to talk.
Talk.
No, I'm not going to talk at all. I'm just going to watch you react to stuff, man. I'm going to be like this. You put me in the background. Nah, it's going to be fun. Like, you're gonna freak out about so many things. We'll have a few sherbets, a few drinks. And, yeah, round 1 will be all the picks from – I'm going to do 132. Matty as well, we might do on TDU as well. And then we're just going to talk. And I think it might be a little bit hard because we'll be streaming on both channels, on Oz and here, the comments. But we'll do our best to bring them up and try and interact with you guys too. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So it's our Friday, my Friday day, or our Friday day, your Thursday night in America, 8 p.m.
But, yeah, we're going to try and do a earlier show, early evening, late afternoon, instead about this hour, or at least I'll get something on there. And it'll be very Q&A focused show as well. So, all these sort of things at last minute, because I think you'll see in the 24 hours leading up to the draft, there's going to be a little bit of trade action right before the draft starts, I think. So,
and the second day, don't forget the second day is fun too, because the Steelers have the first pick on the second day.
Well,
so that's awesome.
They might. There's a limit that suggests why they would trade that pick. You think they're going to trade? I don't know. I think it's the anticipation for the first pick in the second day. Yeah, but if you can trade back 3 spots.
Yeah. I don't know. I just always find
yeah, but if you can trade that pick for 2 or 3 picks. I don't know.
It's not as fun, though. It's not as fun as 32. I want Claypool pick, mate. I want Claypool to walk out again and announce the pick. He already announced Pickens. Oh god, I have a personal vendetta against Claypool.
Imagine if DJ announces that.
DJ announces Addison at 32. He drops that far. Oh, that'd be funny. That would be okay. Then I'd buy into it all.
No, Zay Flowers. That's the biggest comparison. That's the biggest comparison is Zay Flowers.
But I even said it last year when Claypool went out there. I was like, he just announced his replacement, and people went at me. I was like, come on, he did though. You know, oh man, that'd be funny as.
Mate, I'm gonna make some of these babies. Yeah.
What are they? Wings, mate.
Fried buffalo wings. They're like a hybrid. They're a fried buffalo hybrid.
That's like KFC chicken.
Yeah, well, got to make this stuff myself because of the allergies. But yeah, that's what I'm making. I'm gonna make some of these and maybe some ribs. Maybe I'll get the smoker on. You know what? We'll do that. I'll get the smoker on as well. I have got some brisket in the freezer that I can defrost.
Oh.
Anyway, you can tell I love my food.
That's the best. Pittsburgh Toddy says gravity has a vendetta against Claypool. That's excellent.
I actually think. I don't think Claypool could find the right route to run if he had a year to study a directory.
Oh man, that's insane. It's so funny.
Cody's like, yes, please. Yeah, they're good, man. They're really, really good.
But yeah. They pick on me because I say we have chicken burgers. They haven't got chicken burgers in the States, you know that? They have chicken sandwiches.
They don't have meat pies, so I don't think they can laugh at us about food involving meat.
Yeah, but they haven't got anything. They don't have chicken burgers. They have chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, but that's I'm not going to get into the sandwich thing.
It's a burger. It's a burger, man.
Yeah, it's not a sandwich. Burger. It's
like
they call like scones of biscuits kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, isn't scone a scone?
No, but anyway, we can get this during draft chat, right? That's the other thing. It's a bit like the pizza podcast, right?
For 3 hours.
Wait, on Friday, Mark and I, it's draft, so it's football and food. That's what
I told you, Cody. Look, all the Americans are like, Cody, there's no chicken burger. What's that? They call it chicken sandwiches. It's so weird.
But it's not a sandwich.
I know it's a burger.
But don't get me started. This is like the people that the plant. I'm not going to say plant meat because it's not meat. Meat comes from an animal. But they do the plant-based burgers. I'm like, it's not a burger. They say plant-based hamburger. I'm like, a hamburger is meat between two pieces of bread. Like
if you want, it's like the vegan bacon. If you want bacon that bad, just eat bacon. Don't be mixing them up. But yeah,
I know what people have got against turkey bacon though. Turkey bacon's all right. I don't like. Do you know what I don't like? I don't like chicken sausages.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that either. Toddy says it's ground meat. So that's the argument. Ground meat's a burger. But chicken can't be a burger. It's a sandwich. But we call them burgers.
Oh, okay. I can understand that. Yeah.
Chicken formed into a patty. Well, I guess it is it's like a schnitzel.
I'm clipping this in when we do the show.
There's two great comments. Cody says I ran 16 miles during the pizza podcast. Never forget.
Mate, you would have worked off 3 pizzas that day.
And Jedivil says vegan food is a lie. True.
It is.
Vegemite meat.
Ooh. Is Vegemite minced plant?
Vegemite's disgusting. That's what that is.
Don't even. Nah. Bad take.
All right, everyone go out there in America. Go and get Vegemite. Get a spoonful, and you'll vomit. It's bad.
Yeah, but hang on. That's where we don't. That's where it's wrong on Vegemite, right? You need it. Most people, for the first time, need it on butter and toast.
Yeah. Here's the argument, though.
I think if you sold, that's all right, Cody. Sorry.
Yeah, we're only busting your balls. We don't care. Here's the only argument
I have a gluten allergy, Cody, and when I say I'm gluten free, people go, "Oh, you're on a fad diet." I'm like, no, I've got an autoimmune disease, and it eps my intestines up for 6 months if I have it. Right?
The Vegemite argument is the only food I've heard that you have to have less of it for it to taste better.
Correct.
Makes no sense.
Actually, that's not true. I have a lot of Vegemite. But you know what, though? Do you know, it's funny. They went back and, I don't know why they do this, though, because you need, it's very salty, so you want water. But they were looking in the height of the and I'm not really political about it, but in the height of the America's wars in the Middle East, they looked at Vegemite as, could that be something they could give to people, because you only need a small amount of it and it's actually got quite a lot of energy and there's actually a lot of vitamins they put into it, right? Because of very small dosage, but even like having like a teaspoonful of it will keep you going, and it's very light to carry, right?
Oh.
But they looked at it and they just worked out that there was not enough people that liked it. Like, it was never going to be a thing. But they were looking at it with the Aussies and they're like, you guys have it, and it's, you know, because you can get them really little small packets of it, and that'll keep you going for quite a long time, right? But they just worked out not enough people. Like, they're like 1 in every 1,000 soldiers would be able to eat it.
They could have used Vegemite as like as an attack, you know, like to get some information out of the prisoners or whatever.
It is sticky. It is a bit sticky.
I'm just never liked it. I don't know. And it's like, it's Aussie. I know in Australia you have one person like Matty who likes it, and I'm one person who doesn't, and this argument will never end. But we're lucky we have the pizza podcast, because that can go. I love pizza.
Oh, alligator. I've had crocodile.
I've had bison before. That's different.
Have you had bison? I want to have bison.
Yeah, it's pretty good. In a burger. So then a bison burgers are right. I think I've had steak too as well. I don't mind. I've had a kangaroo burger, but then I had another one and it wasn't very good. So yeah, kangaroo's better sliced like Wagyu. Anyway, with that, we're going to wrap up this week's Steelers Touch Down Under. I'm Matty Peverill with Marky D as always. Go Steelers.
Here we go.